I'm Takeshi, and you're watching Kojima Racing. Alright, so let's go with the interior now. So, as most of you Mustang nuts probably already know, the Special Service Pack SSP Police Interceptor cars came with a opal gray interior without sport seats, and so it's not very thrilling. Of course, liking the color black, I wanted a black interior, which a lot of people, that's a popular swap on these cars, is to go with a black interior. So some features that were specific to the Special Service Pack were power lock deletes. So these cars did not come with power locks. They were the only cars that came that way. So minimum was power locks on a Fox Body Mustang. They also came with crank windows. You could get crank windows on other cars as well. It's kind of pointless to have power windows on a car that has two windows that you can roll down. And so the non-sport seats are pretty mundane, and they're not very comfortable, not very supportive. So what I've done here is I obtained some 1987 Mustang GT sport seats. These seats have the extendable leg supports here. They're called something else, I can't remember it right now, but has the extendable leg supports. You'll have to forgive me, my dash is all taken apart because the heater core went bad, so I have to replace that. So that'll be another project. I'm going to go over that on the channel along with other modifications or repairs that I've done, common stuff, as tutorials so that everybody can see how it's done. If you have interest in getting one of these cars, or you have one already and you don't know where to go to modify it or what to do on it, I'll post all that up at a later time. Late Model Restoration Supply sold the recover kit for these seats. They also sell the foam cores. My foam cores were fine, so I just reused them and recovered the seats in the 1991 style tweed, black tweed covers. So they are fabric with a vinyl trim. I didn't like the Mustang GT style headrests, so I got myself a set of 86 SVO Mustang Halo style headrests. I think they look a lot sportier, and I think it's perfect for this car. The CHP cars also came with a leather wrapped steering wheel, which mine's all destroyed. I mean, just years of use, skin oils and sunlight and such. Steering wheel needs to be replaced. Luckily, somebody just started making a reproduction, and it is available also through Late Model Restoration Supply without the cruise control buttons, because specifically the Highway Patrol cars did not come with cruise control on them. They were manual transmission cars, and they did not have cruise control. And so I'm going to replace the steering wheel. You can reuse your airbag in it. They also had a 160, I don't know if you can see that, can't really get in there too well, but 160 mile an hour certified calibrated speedometer, which I'll post some pictures of that so that you can see it better. But most of the cars came with an 85 mile an hour speedometer, or an optional 140 mile an hour speedometer, which was both were kind of ridiculous for a car that can likely hit 85 miles an hour between stoplights. Otherwise, so here you can see in the back that I've done the back seat to match with the black tweed. I got the Scott Drake center console pod delete. All you Fox Body people probably recognize the the center console pods, they're junk, basically. There's no better way to say it. I mean, they fall apart, and they're extremely ugly and just not very good. So I deleted that, and that's what this is here. So it still has the ashtray in the back of it. There's that heater core I was talking about. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. Got the black headliner, got the 1992 style dome light. All the plastics are good, and these cars also, this car also has the shoulder harness back seat belts, which were 1992 or later, even though this is a 1991. The interior is basically mixed and matched for the best parts, and this is what it came out with. I have some pictures of when it's all together, and so I'll post those up so you guys can see what it looks like. There's some floor mats in there with the Pony logo on them. Car has a full stereo system, so this is all extremely old school. There we've got a grounding block. On the other side there's a power distribution block, and then these are Sony 1 ohm drive, Sony Mobile ES 1 ohm drive amplifiers. So this one is 1,000 watts, and this runs the subwoofers, and this one's 840 watts, and it runs everything else. And so they're hidden underneath this tinted glass. You can't see them from the outside, only from the inside. Then it's got a extremely old school Sony Mobile ES active black panel deck, so it's remote controlled. The deck will actually motorize open, and there's controls inside of it, as well as a CD slot. And then I'm in the process of adding in Bluetooth capability to kind of bring it into the modern era, because these decks are kind of older. I like the nostalgia of it though, and it kind of goes with my 1991 car. So it's got some Sony Mobile ES, they're magnesium coned 6.5 inch drivers in the doors, and there's neodymium tweeters in the dash in place of the 3-inch paper cone speakers that these cars came factory with. The Highway Patrol cars actually deleted that even. So power windows were an option, or power mirrors, excuse me, were an option on these cars as well, even though they didn't have power windows. So there's no way to delete that. That was the only option on this year car for the mirrors. So otherwise, it's pretty much the whole of the interior. I'll show you the subwoofers in the trunk here. It's pretty messy because I'm working on it, but it's got a set of Sony subwoofers in a sealed enclosure that is built specifically for this car. I replaced the torsion rods that run underneath the rear deck with this spring setup that came on the convertible cars, because the convertible cars had a convertible top in that area, so they couldn't utilize the torsion rods, and so that's what holds the deck lid up and made room for the subwoofers. So those are I think there's some sort of mica infused speaker cone, but they're sealed enclosures, and it sounds pretty good. And when I raced the car, I raced it with subwoofers in it. Of course, at the time it had different subwoofers in it, but same weight. And then just going back a little bit to what we were discussing before about the exterior, here you can see that I've welded tubes through the two different layers, the inside layer and the sheet metal exterior layer, in order to bolt the spoiler on through the top. But we'll get more into that when I talk about what I've done to get the spoiler on the car. Also here you can see this I believe it was Calypso green color. That was a factory color for these Mustangs. This particular car did not come in this color. It was Earl Shived after it was a CHP car, so of course they didn't prep the car, they didn't sand it, they just washed it and sprayed the paint over it, so it's all flaking off everywhere. And so I still have yet to sand all the paint out of the jams. I've sanded it all off of the exterior body, but that's part of the process to get a new coat of paint on the car so that it actually sticks and doesn't come off. So, all right, so next is mechanical.